Just as a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. It gets uploaded to LFX shortly after, and your participation in this meeting is an agreement to abide by the OpenSSF Code of Conduct. Let me see if I can, yeah, so I got that. Okay. And feel free to also put your attendance in the meeting notes here. Oops. Right. All right. Topics. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to talk about? There's a one thing from my end, but besides that,
One important thing from your end.
yeah. Yeah, so on our end, just to be clear, like I think internally we've kind of moved away from GUAC completely to onto other things. And right now, like we've been obviously continuing to sort of maintain GUAC for folks who need it. But we're not finding, for us, like we're just not finding that there's enough additional support from other folks like, Google or whomever to make that kind of like sustainable on our end. So we're pulling back at this point from supporting GUAC. That doesn't mean that we don't want to still be involved, and we don't want to eventually contribute back upstream some of the things that we have been building internally. But right now, at least the GUAC, the sort of graph engine and all that sort of stuff, we don't have the time or resources to continue to sort of support at this point. With that said, we don't want to just sort of drop it, given that other folks are contributing to it. So we would love to figure out how to give maintainer bit to the right sorts of folks. Feel free to again, we're happy to, you know, uh, uh, review pull requests and that sort of thing as it kind of makes sense for us. But beyond that, I think we're pulling back from the project.
So,
Around that, sorry.
no, go ahead, Ruben.
No, it was just a comment on top of this. So is this because I haven't seen any activity also from Brandon? So is this also related, or is just that he's occasionally away temporarily?
Oh, so yeah, so the Brendan thing is slightly different. I know he started coming back to the meetings. The problem is, so Brendan just got married. So for the
Okay.
yeah, so that was about 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks before, so he took about a month off between his wedding and I think honeymoon. I think he's supposed to be back starting next week. I think actually we're both going to this LF event out in Europe next week. But I do think Brendan is, yeah. So I think he's supposed to be back around tomorrow or something. Not tomorrow, next week, or rather the week after, I guess. As far as Google support, I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. Thanks. Sorry again.
Yeah. Will we consider adding more maintainers to the GOG project, like at least
Yeah.
people with right access and based on the number of contributions?
So yes, that was going to be one of my suggestions. Is we'd love to make you a maintainer of the project. Um, there's a little bit of like paperwork stuff. Like again, when I say, hey, we're looking to, we're going to be rolling off, that doesn't mean like starting today, we're just gone. We're not going to be accessible anymore. It's more like, hey, figure over the next couple of weeks, we want to transition to the other folks who do want to continue to maintain the project. And um, yeah, so like don't just assume like, oh, okay, like that's it, like we're archiving the project or anything like that. No, we recognize that some folks are sort of continuing to sort of commit to it, yada yada. So we're gonna we should chat at some point offline, because again, we'd love to kind of get you maintainer bit and stuff like that.
Sure, Michael. Happy to hear that. And yeah, one more thing. Right now, in the GOG project, there are like a couple of depend-about PRs which are blocked because of the pipeline failing. I had raised a PR. It was a small fix, but that is not merged yet. It needs another approval. So if we
Yep.
can get that merged on priority, we can probably merge all of these depend-about PRs as well.
Can you link me to your PR? Yeah. So the other thing on my end, and I apologize, but a couple of weeks ago, my MacBook died. So where I had access to, and I had a bunch of notifications set up so that when these PRs came in, it died. So uh, uh, yeah, please link me.
I've shared it in the meeting chat.
Awesome. Thanks. Let me see. Is this one of the ones I was looking at? Yeah, I think. Yep. Okay. Let me approved. Yeah, it's just the adding of the GHSA.
Yep. And there were two more PRs where probably the depend-about wasn't successful in upgrading the versions because it also involved some part of code change. So I'd raised two more PRs for that. So probably if you can help me have a look at those as well. This was one.
Sure, sure. Yeah, just link me again and I will go and do that. Yeah, 2.3. All right. Um, cool. Yeah, I could definitely take a look at that a little bit after this meeting. Let me actually make sure I get all of these opened up on my thing so I don't lose them. All right. Um, any other major topics um, for this meeting? Anything else that folks wanted to chat through?
from my side, as you are not much into the dependency analytics part of the GUAC project, but if you're interested, we are also working on adding more type of recommendations, because the Red Hat implemented released some private registries for Python for PyPy, and also for the container images, what they call the hardened images. So we are working on integration with this as well, just to share something with you.
Cool. All right. Yeah, I've been folks are happy with a lot of the Trustify. People have been reaching out about some of the Trustify related releases lately. They're so we had open source summit a few weeks ago, and folks not like there weren't a ton of folks. Again, it's not a very large conference, but we had some folks, who were like, "Yeah, I've been playing around with Trustify, and they really liked it." So I was like, "Oh, cool. Well, please come to these meetings and come and say how you're using it and add features and all that good stuff." Uh, um, all right. So not for now, but like maybe if we can get an upcoming meeting with everybody when everybody's back, when Brendan's back and other folks can join, I'd be interested to kind of also talk a bit more strategically about what some upcoming things that are happening within OpenSSF and the governing board and the TAC. There is a lot more of a high level sort of focus around certain priorities, including supply chain. And one of the things that was brought up is like, how can we better, again, this is a community, so you could just say, no, we don't want to implement that feature. But I think there's discussion lately about how we could better interoperate between various tools and where there might be gaps within some tools and that sort of thing. So, for example, if tools like GUAC/Trustify can help with things like what was I going to say? If they can help with things like incident response and tracking of vulnerabilities, are there tools that automatically upgrade those things and helping out in the sort of open source space to sort of highlight to folks who are saying, hey, if I come into OpenSSF and I say I'm a maintainer. Well, if you're a maintainer, you probably don't care about Trustify. You probably don't care about GUAC so much. But if you're a consumer of those things, right? Like if you're somebody who's like, hey, I have a company and I want to know what's going on. Yeah, you are a consumer of those sorts of things. So probably in the coming sort of weeks, there's going to be a bit more of like, hey, what are the things that the tools that we're building inside of here help, what do they help out with? And where can they sort of fit into this bigger architecture that is being built out?
Yeah, as part of our software development lifecycle, we are adding, for now, the CV triage skill that will help us doing this part and hopefully automate the remediation. And including this into Trustify will help. I'm sure that will be very helpful for many people to kind of automate this, at least the triage, and and the remediation also to backport and create all the pull requests and everything, complete the lifecycle.
Cool. Yeah, if there's any other I don't want to keep us here if there's no other major topics, but if there's no other major topics, Gagan, I'll review your PRs probably a little bit later today, and take a look at those. And again, we'll have probably once I kind of get some of the other steering committee members and yada yada folks to sort of chat, we'll talk about different sort of transition plans for the actual sort of that GUAC project, the GitHub project. Cool. Again, anything else?
Nothing from my end.
Okay, cool. Well, chat with you all in a couple of weeks.